Hello, it is me, T Killjoy, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are playing World of Warcraft Dragonflight, but we're going to be showing off the new player experience. My thoughts about it will be towards the end of the video, so this will be a two-part video basically. So the first part is just going to go over the new player experience, basically what it is, all the quests you go through, stuff like that. The second video will be what I thought about it, how they could possibly improve it, and stuff like that. So let's get into this. So when you're going to be choosing a server, it'll immediately direct you to a new player server. So that's what we did. We chose a new player server, even though I would not recommend doing these normally at all. But in this case, we did end up going with a new player server. We chose Ajuin. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. Then we simply come to the place where we're going to be creating our character. There is plenty of different races and classes to choose from, but in this case we just went with a Draenei mage. And I did that mostly because I haven't played a mage before, so I was like, sure, why not? Let's just see what let's just see what the new player experience is like for somebody like, you know, a completely new player. I'm not new, of course, but there's a lot of people who are. So in this case, we just decided to randomize our appearance, randomize her name, everything like that. I wasn't gonna spend like a whole bunch of time messing with our character. So you then need to choose your starting zone. You won't have access to Shadow Glen. You'll only, like, I don't even think it gives you a choice. I believe it just puts you directly into Exile's Reach. I only have the choice because on another realm I have a bunch of level 60s and a level 70. So when you're finally in the game, it'll give you a quick tutorial of like to walk around, basically simple controls and stuff like that. I think that's a pretty decent way to show things off for sure. And then they show you how to target a combat dummy with your mouse and what ability to cast, which in this case is the only ability on my cast bar. So then we go and talk to Private Cole, and Private Cole basically just wants us to spar with him, basically. Now, I'm not quite sure what the point in this was. I mean, we were already doing a target dummy. Maybe it's just for that extra like experience of somebody trying to kill you just as well. But other than that, that basically just went off fine. So then it tells us that we have a new ability. This is one of those things that I do like about the new player experiences. It does tell you when you have new abilities. So let's see how that goes. So we complete that quest. Big spooky weather change, and we're basically just told to go below deck. So we go below deck, talk to Captain Garrick, and we have a lovely cutscene. Then we simply wake up on the shore with some murlocs staring at us. Not quite sure what they had plans to do with my body. I don't even want to know. And we get a quest to go and murder some murlocs. So, we take on the murlocs using what we know, which is Frostbolt always. Now, one thing it does tell you is how to loot, but what it doesn't tell you is something that I feel is like very necessary, and it's like the auto loot, which you have to actually go into your options and click auto loot and then do it from there. So, we kill the murlocs, we turn in the quest, and then we get introduced to our first item-based quest where we're using an item to heal people. In this case, it's a medkit. We learn a new spell called Frost Nova. We heal everybody, turn in the quest to Captain Garrick, and we get told to travel north. We travel north, we find someone in need of food. Captain Garrick tells us to go get said food. So, after murdering the local wildlife, I'm sorry, PETA, we decided to head back, cook the food, and hand it to the starving lady. We then talk to Captain Garrick again, and we basically have to prove our abilities. Now, this is quite interesting, and it is definitely a thing that I'm happy they put in, but I'll tell you that there is some issues I have with it. The issues I have with this is although it tells me like how to use two abilities, it will never do this again, and that's my problem with it. Is by this point I've already gotten three abilities. I am only being told how to use Frostbolt and Fire Nova, but I'm not being told how to use my other ability. So, anyway, so we head north and we turn in our quest. We learn another spell called Conjure Refreshment. Definitely a good thing. Our quest is to kill a bunch of Quillbore warriors, or I guess Quillbores. We take on a big ogre overseer for some extra XP gains. We then take on the Geolord Grekok. After a very hard-fought battle, we were able to take him down. We then kept going. We were then tasked with hopping on top of some type of contraption that I personally would not trust. So, we scout out the area and discover something interesting. So, after that, we resize a boar and slam it head on into the undead. After destroying all of the undead, we had to take on the so-called boss. They were not much of a boss, however, and in fact they were pretty lackluster and didn't do too much. So we take them on and report back to Henry Garrick, her son. Something about not giving up hope. I didn't ask for a speech right now, but I'll take it. So, we then head back and pick up an Alliance tabard because it looks fancy. I then forget that I also need to sell things for the quest to be complete. So, that was kind of dumb of me. But anyway, we sell pretty much everything that we've earned up to this point. We head up into the spider's nest. And after a very long walk, we end up killing the boss of that area. And we save someone's life. And then she saves our life. So, I guess we're even. So, we come back, turn in that quest, get some more armor, head a little bit more in another direction, grab even more quests, kill some harpies, kill the terror of the skies, come back down, complete those quests, collect some more gear, go back down to Captain Garrick, accept a new quest, but first, a side quest. So we take on Killclaw the Terrible. After almost dying, I had to use a health potion. We were able to take them down. We report back to Captain Garrick, and basically we get turned into an ogre. So after turning into a big brute, we decide to take a small break and do some dancing. Because this ogre's got the moves. So, after making a complete fool of myself, we head back up, I lose my ogre form, and I get tasked with murdering the 3 ogres that carry the stones, so that way I can relieve the prisoner. So, we kill Wug, we kill Jugnug, and then we kill Grunk. No issues whatsoever with any of that. We head back, turn in the quest, get our lovely new shiny pieces of armor, and we get something that I think is really nice, and it's your first introduction to a dungeon. Now, I wasn't expecting that, but we did get to go into a dungeon before level 15, and the way they did it was really well done. So, we take on Tunk. Tunk is pretty much a big old pushover. No problem. Then we take on Ravnir. Once again, no issue for us. Head back to Captain Garrick. Get our nice little hood. Equip that. And it's time to head to Stormwind. Now we have essentially reached level 11. This is all we can do here. Now the last bit is going to be the tour of Stormwind. Pretty much what you have to do as a new player, you won't have the skip the city tour. You'll have to actually go through this tour, and then probably a second video I'll probably go over what expansion they want you to level through from 11 to 60. But that would be completely up to you guys. If you want that, look, tell me in the comments down below. So we do our nice little tour. We pick out our, well, we don't even get to pick out our mount. We get a mount after training our riding. And then from there, we then just need to head over to our class trainer, basically. And they're going to teach us about specializations. So we ask what are our specialization options. So in my case, since I'm a mage, I have the arcane, fire, and frost. So that's three different ways that I could totally take the mage. And in this case, I went with arcane. So after a little bit of time of waiting for the loading bar, we then head out of there after completing the quest, and we need to head to our final stop, which is the inn. This will teach us about the Hearthstone, which is, really good. But first, we learn about the talent system. Now, one thing I do like is they do have a starter build, which is perfect for new players that have never played a class before. So, from there, we head to the inn, and that's where it ends off, pretty much. That was the new player experience in World of Warcraft. Now, like I said, there is quite a few problems with it. The main one is you're only taught two spells of your rotation. Now, that's a little annoying because you obviously get way more than two spells in your rotation. Depending on your class, you could have a load of spells or abilities in your rotation. So it just doesn't really work that well. The other problem is essentially forcing. Now, of course, I'll get into this probably more into a second video, but forcing a new player to go in the direction that they feel was the best, which the not 1 to 11, that 1 to 11 experience is great. But once you get past that into the recommended content they want you to do, it's not great at all. So just keep that in mind. The new player experience definitely is really good when it comes to 1 to 11. Exile's Reach is an excellent place. It teaches you pretty much everything you need to know. Like I said, there was only that one pet peeve that I couldn't overlook. But everything else was great. It taught you combat, it taught you basic movement, it taught you how to use consumables, it taught you how dungeons work. Like, it's much better than the new player experience that WoW used to be. World of Warcraft used to have the new player experience just be, alright, here's all the controls, here's some hints, but other than that, you're on your own. But now you go through Exile's Reach, you level through, learn about questing, you learn about different types of questing, you learn about bosses, you learn about special rare bosses that take more people to kill, which in this case was Killclaw. And then at the end, you do this big, like, not even really big, but this dungeon that just sends you in with Captain Garrick and her son. One is the tank, one is the healer, which means this allows you to just purely focus on doing damage and trying to learn your rotation. Now, I guess the point of them not teaching you rotation, maybe their whole thing is just they want you to experiment, and that's why they don't expect you to, like, try and tank the dungeon, is because they just want you to focus on doing damage, which is why you have the healer and the tank already there for you. So, once you do that, then, you finish off, you get all your nice gear pieces, and you head out of there to Stormwind. But that's where the good ends and where the bad begins. Now, I think the tour is good, but it should have been longer. I should have been shown the auction house, the auction house, the bank, the, like, weapon stores, like, just places around Stormwind that could help me on my journey. But in this case, I was just shown a few different places, And then when we get into this on the second episode, we'll get whisked away off to what Blizzard feels is the best new player experience, which me and my best friend, we've been through the new player experience because he's a new player. And he said it was boring. And I agree with him. It was boring. The storyline wasn't really all there. And instead, we actually ended up deleting those characters. And we made new characters, Death Knights. And we decided to play through Legion instead. And that was a way better new player experience for him. He enjoyed the storylines. He enjoyed pretty much everything about it. The armor sets were great. The weapons were great. Of course, we have our own pet peeves about certain things in Legion as well, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So overall, the new player experience is great from 1 to 11. Anything past that point needs to be improved. So if you guys want to see a video of like maybe a list of how Blizzard can improve the new player experience, let me know. But other than that, guys, that's it. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out.